Good morning, Garrett here from Classical Rebellion, and here's your quote for today. You only know me as you see me, not as I actually am. Immanuel Kant. This is one of the fundamental truths of life. For better or worse, no one knows us as we actually are. We are only known to others based on their perceptions and their filters and their experiences. At first blush, this might feel like a depressing idea. We have a concept that we want someone to just know us. There is someone very important, ourselves. If we take some time to consider this quote carefully, it will actually liberate us. What Kant did not clarify is that we ourselves need to have a clear understanding of who we are. It's not a foregone conclusion that we have a clear and accurate picture of ourselves. If we have self-understanding, if we see ourselves as we actually are, then the game is over. It still needs to be played, but once we understand ourselves, we've won. Notice that I did not say if we see ourselves as we think we should be. At that point, the game is over and we have lost. If we take an assessment of ourselves and have a feeling of dissatisfaction, we can reset it immediately with just one thought. I want to become who I can be. That quote is actually mine. And that thought came to me while I was making an attempt to just be okay with myself. This idea of accepting ourselves as we are, or just being okay with ourselves, is an idea that we'll lose every single time. I just want to be okay with myself is the mantra of the downtrodden. At the same time, if we are unpleased with ourselves, it is also a recipe for disaster. We want to be able to see ourselves as we are without confirming or denying the desirability of our current situation. I want to become who I can become is a neutral statement which consistently resets our potential. It is dynamic and scales with us as we start to become who it is that we're capable of being. When we were kids, we were all pure, unrealized potential. As we've aged, many of us became unpure, unrealized potential. As adults, many of us still have potential that has remained unrealized. But that potential has become impure, toxic, and bitter based on our repeatedly falling short of what we think we're capable of. Many times we fall short of what we know we are capable of, and that is the very definition of sin. Sin originally meant to miss the target, to fall short of our abilities. Out of that came a code of behaviors to avoid, such as lying, cheating, stealing, etc. If we practice those behaviors, we will certainly fall short of our abilities. The problem is that we can still remain far removed from our potential and never lie, cheat, or steal. Avoiding vices is not the same thing as participating in virtues. To tell the truth, play fair, and give to others is a far different perspective than merely not lying, cheating, or stealing. Many times we simply keep our mouth shut, don't play, and neither steal nor provide from others. To be sure, if we lie, cheat, and steal, our potential becomes poisonous. However, sin is not only about specific transgressions. It also has a macro component. If we fail to become who we can become, our failure has untold consequences as it applies to how we interact with and influence others. On the flip side, when we start to become the person that we can be, it makes the world a better place. Should we consider that to be holy? The other element that I like about I want to be who I can become is that it doesn't set any false expectations. False expectations can manifest both as too much and too little. The run-of-the-mill false expectation is to go for too much, too fast, and fall short. That is the too much false expectation. The too little false expectation is what happens when we set our bar too low. The low expectation is based on the fact that we don't know how far our potential can take us. As far as I can tell, there is no limit to our potential. The key to this process is that we never ever set a bar or put expectations on our potential as we are constantly resetting it. We want to remove expectations altogether. We can have goals and aspirations, but we must refrain from putting them on a schedule of expectations. Wherever we find ourselves, the thought remains, I want to be who I can become. I should explain that this approach works for a certain personality type. Specific planning and tasking work great for a different personality type. Part of what led me to this spot was constantly making plans for years, which I never followed. My personality does not respond well to specifics. If you've also experienced frustration from making plans and then failing to follow them, this might be an approach you want to explore. If you're able to make a plan and then execute it, well, you're one of the lucky ones. The piece of music for this quote is The Arrival of the Nobles from the third act of Lohengrin by Richard Wagner. This music, to my ear, is full of potential which is constantly exceeding itself. As soon as we feel as though we've arrived, it goes even further. In my opinion, this is one of the qualities of Wagner's music which makes it so seductive. The piece of art is the charcoal drawing by Leonardo da Vinci, The Virgin and Child with St. Anne and St. John the Baptist. If anyone ever fulfilled their potential, it was Mary, Jesus, and John the Baptist. Have a great day, and I'll see you tomorrow. Hey, thanks for staying all the way to the end. Please subscribe and turn on notifications. You can also visit our website, classicalrebellion.com. And remember, the number one thing you can do right this very moment to support classical music and the high arts is share your love of the art form with others.